Recording is on.
Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Long Island Org Sunday service. You can see a slide that says Long Island Org Sunday service.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. Good. So this is the Sunday service that is brought to you by your OT committee. And today I thought of sharing with you, first of all, there's like good news all around. We have good news in terms of numbers that they were announced, and there are some positive projections as to when things will start getting to normal. Of course, everything has to happen in a gradual, proper way, but there is good news that things are moving in the positive direction, and that is another indication that there is the more theta that is flown into the universe out there, the better work, the better results we are going to have. So now I thought of sharing today some things from the London Congress on Nuclear Radiation Control and Health. That is on the lecture, The Control of Hysteria. I'm going to keep pronouncing that word like this, hysteria, okay? Now, you may have a different preference of pronunciation, but this is what you're going to get this morning, okay? That is from 15 April 1957. So LRH says, now tiredness, exhaustion, hopelessness all go hand in hand. These are the four horsemen of today. The inability to see any future. And if I tell you that one of the most important parts of human thinkingness is the ability to confront a future or have a future or find a future. And if I tell you you will have no future, you can see at once that it has depressing mental aspects, right? I mean, a lot of people are going into apathy. There is chaos. There is a lot of spreading of bad news. And for a period of time, there was like, okay, there is no tomorrow. There is we don't know what's going to happen with this thing. It will always be around us. So it was the idea of there is no future. So people get like really very depressed instead of thinking, okay, this is something temporary. We can confront it. We can do the things that we need to do so that we can create the future. Okay. And I'll talk a little bit more about create later on. So LRH says, I would never join the ranks of those who attempt to drive people into hysteria simply for their own gratification or their political ambitions. Oh my goodness. Haven't we seen this happening all over the place? And I'm not going to be partisan, but I'm going to be political. Every single freaking politician, no matter where they're at, the right, the left, the center, the up, the down, the north, the south, the east, the west, they are playing this freaking game. You know, they are simply working for their own gratification or their own political ambition, just instilling to people this hysteria. The greatest danger is not small invisible particles drifting through the air, but the hysteria which is occasioned by the propaganda, the misunderstanding and threat which accompanies it. Because guys, let's face it, these small invisible particles, right? So these are, these are particles that they have some sort of effect. They are some sort of biological structure. They have a biological structure. And we can figure out how to handle it. But when you have this type of beyond emotion, of hysteria, of chaos, of people not knowing what really to do, that is much more difficult to handle. So that is something that people cannot really understand. A particle, you can understand it is part of this physical universe. So you can handle it as a piece of mess. So then he says, the hysteria is the particle, not the particle, because the hysteria can grow to such a peak, the whole populaces can go entirely out of control of their own governments. All right. And in some areas, some regions around the world, we've seen that, right? Then LRH says, there are two ways to go out of control. There are two ways to go out of control. One is to get upset and go down and throw bricks through the prime minister's window or the White House. And there's quite another way. And that's simply to lie down and quit. So that's important, because out of control is not just to go out there and create havoc and throw bricks and this and that, but out of control is also to simply lie down in apathy and quit and say, oh, nothing can be done about it. Wherever you get one of these overwhelming mysteries, you get mental upset. What am I supposed to do? Well, he can't do anything, so he gets sick. Oh, the coronavirus is a virus of the CER category named COVID-19, and I'm throwing to you right now a whole bunch of misunderstood words with the little spikes, the immunoglobulins, the this, the that, the da. And then what happens? How do you feel with all that? Oh my God, this is something I cannot understand it. If I cannot cannot understand it, how am I going to confront it? And, sometimes the medical establishment does that. That is the power, that is the authority. I mean, I know, in fact, that you have heard many times from your doctor or from a doctor, you have heard the term, oh, you have essential hypertension. Okay, so have you ever looked up what, in terms of medical terms, the word essential hypertension means? Well, essential hypertension is that we really do not have a specific reason for the hypertension, and we lump them all in a category. We call them essential, and we give it to the people so that we have an explanation for them, So, and this happens all the time in the medical establishment. We'll throw a couple of misunderstood words on you, and then that gives power and authority to the people who are, I'm loving your hair, man. I'm loving your hair. and gives power and authority to the people who are really are in the medical world, or in that realm of science that gives that has that authority. Instead of really getting down to earth and explaining. And there are some physicians, there are some scientists, much more sane, much more humane, that they really take the time and help. They take the time to explain. They take the time to make sure that the other person has understood really what they are talking about and the message they are trying to put out there. So LRH says, he gets various, wherever you get one of these overwhelming mysteries, you get the mental upset. Okay, I read that. What am I supposed to do? Well, he can't do anything. So he gets sick. He gets various mental reactions to this. And the broadest of them is his first look at it, which is hysteria. He feels that he should react, and he doesn't know which direction to react. I'll give that to you again. He feels that he should react, and he doesn't know which direction to react. This is the main problem. Because they cannot do anything to strike back against this thing, they are then liable to strike at things which are not connected with it. And so you would have a tumultuous, hard to control society. That's the only real danger. Okay, now let me tell you something. You have heard, for example, that during this time where everybody or most people stay in their homes, some percentages of violence, domestic violence have increased. And the relationships among people sometimes may be threatened by this exact phenomenon. People feel that they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to react. They feel they should react, but they don't know which direction to react. So what do? They try to strike back against things that are not connected with it because they cannot identify it. They don't know how to strike back against this thing. So they strike at things that are not connected with it. And that's when you can have fights, you can have domestic violence, you can have misunderstandings, arguments between people. But we have a secondary course which is quite well open, and that is the control of civil populaces, problems appertaining thereto. How do you keep people fairly calm, cool, and connected in the face of this much danger and trouble? But if you can keep them collected, if you can keep them braced up to it, if you can show them that it isn't going to wipe them out, if you can give them some hope of one kind or another, they will come through it where they otherwise would not. So the danger in the world today, in my opinion, is not which may or may not be flying through the air, but the hysteria. And braced up is defined here as encouraged, strong, and determined. So if you can keep them braced up, if you can keep them encouraged, if you can keep them strong, determined towards it, to it, and furthermore, to life, if you can show them that this thing is not going to wipe them out, this is a temporary thing, we're going to change it. If you can give them some hope of one kind or another, yes, something can be done about it, and this is what can be done. This is how we do it. Then they will come through it. So all of these people, organizations, anybody who has worked to disseminate the message that something can be done about it, that there are resources that somebody can utilize sane resources. Okay, we have with us, for example, Renessa Carney here, who is the proponent of a very specific, robust nutrition that can help someone really boost their immune system. If you follow the practices that we were given by the Scientology network, and I'm going to show you again real quick that side. If you follow the guidelines, then what are you doing? You are confronting the problem, all right? And by confronting the problem, this side I'm talking about, by confronting the problem, guess what you do, guys? You are creating a distance. You're creating space between that and you. Okay, let me just talk for a moment about this. I was not planning to on this part, but I think this is an important thing to look at. I'm going to read you something from Anti-Radiation and Confront. Okay, I don't know if you can see that in your screen. I'm pointing it.
Yeah, I can see it.
You can see it. Okay, so I just want to read you this. So space could be defined as a willingness to confront. You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
If he is unwilling to confront them, he becomes them. The thing that you are not willing, the thing that you are unwilling to confront, you become it. You become that. Because, look at this. If this is a being here, and this is something else, another being, another thing, a piece of mess, it doesn't matter what. If this being is unable or unwilling to confront this, then because space could be defined as a willingness to confront, if you are not willing to confront, then you have no space from it. So you become it. Cannot confront grandma, you become grandma. Cannot confront job, task, you become job, you become task. Cannot confront COVID-19, unwilling to confront it, you become it. Cannot confront not having money, you become not having money. Space could be defined as a willingness to confront. I confront it, I create space. And the more I can confront, the greater space I can create, and the more I can expand as a being. The greater the confront, the greater space I can create around me. That's pretty cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and because we are at a point now that we should be looking at putting this whole thing behind us and start creating. I want to just go over the scale of heaviness. 1956, this is from 1956. And I'm going to start right from the bottom where he says created. What is created? Created basically is when you see something created and you are not part of that creation. You're just looking at it. It was created. maybe created for you, maybe created for somebody else, but you weren't part of it. Just watched it happening. Well, must be contributed to. Okay, must be contributed to. That would be more like something that it will be mandated for you without you being there, without you even becoming aware of something that was contributed. Let's give an example of that. Let's say that some parents some time ago, they went and they paid off universities to put their kids into the school teams. Some celebrities did that too, okay? So what happened there? Something was contributed on your behalf, and you were not even there. You were not even aware. You were not, it was beyond your awareness level. Must be confronted. So think about this. They tell you, the boss must talk to you. All right? So you are in total mystery. You don't know what is it all about, but you know that this thing must be confronted because it's your boss, right? But you have no idea what this is all about. How about head? This is more like to have yourself head. You allow someone, and again, I mean, I'm going to use a phrase now. You allow someone to eat you. You allow another being to destroy you. You've been head. And then what happens? Waste. Hey, won the lottery, but totally beyond his or her awareness level what to do with the money for the lottery. So wasting all the money. It disappears. You have no idea what even happened to it. Substitute. Okay. Well, you have a problem, let's say, right? So what do? Sometimes you create, if you can't handle that problem, if you are unable to confront it, problem A, what do? You kind of create another problem, problem B, at least to have something that you can potentially confront. But you haven't confronted problem A still. And then we go to waste, but this is a little bit of different waste. This is waste where it is, your awareness is there, okay? Let's say you cannot confront your advancement in the job. You cannot confront the project. So what do? You resign. So you waste the job. That's it. But it's part of your awareness there. It's just your inability to confront that you make you waste it. And at least then when we go to have, that is where we can start confronting really things. That is where we can have more of a progress here on this scale. So this is when you manage to have something and you can confront that something. You have something. You can confront things now. You can confront things, and if you can confront them, you can have them. and contribute to giving is even higher than having. You see that? This is very interesting. Giving to others. That's why, you get this really awesome feeling when you give something and you know that contribution you made really created some positive effect. When you contribute to Ideal Lord, like we're going to do this coming Tuesday night, or when you do things that you give to others, anything, your time, your attention, that makes you feel good. And the ultimate thing, creating. So you see that right now, at this point in time, we really, some people are very low in this scale of happiness right now. There's a substitute, or the government is giving some money out. I don't know what to do with the money. I haven't controlled money. It's waste. I did receive the phone call. I have I used to have every day until this past Thursday, and now I have it I do once a week now, these town hall meetings. So a lot of people would call me to ask me questions about things, as I'm trying to change this too now. So I received a call from this guy just the other day, and what does he tell me? He says, "Hey, Dimi, you know what? I am going to get $400,000 in my account on Tuesday. That's the government money, the PPP." And he says, "Man, I don't know. What the heck am I going to do with this? How am I going to handle it? How am I going to pay my employee?" Like, look at this. Oh, he's a businessman. He has 3 offices, but this like immediate influx of money, it was something that he had difficulty to control. Okay, so to confront. I'm sorry, not to control, to confront. Okay, so that's a pretty interesting. That's a pretty interesting thing. So, any questions or any comments about what we talked thus far?
That part about that which you can't confront, you can start being that. That was pretty awesome. And it gives you it. I can immediately look through all different areas of my life, like where I've maybe started being something or someone, but this allows me to, now that I hear that, allows me to not, to think in the future how I can not be that person and keep my space from that person by confronting.
Yeah, it's such an amazing thing that the idea of confront. I mean, really. I mean, you come to life, the beingness, right? That little baby. They gotta confront initially that difference in pressure, let's say, from mommy's belly coming into this environment. They take the first breath. I mean, there's some confront there. And imagine if that little existence, that little being, I mean, little physically, not necessarily really, but being able to confront such a big change, we have that ability. We have it. We have that ability big time. It is just how we lose that ability or decrease that ability decreases when we go through losses in life, the tone becomes lower, and the confront decreases.
Oh, it's amazing. That was an amazing concept.
Anybody else? Any comment?
Well, you can get all this stuff by doing extension course lessons at home, and management wants everybody to be on an extension course, so you're getting as much LRH data as possible, even until we open the churches again, even afterwards. So, I mean, I think data is great, and we need to just get more of it.
Absolutely. And I have here, the resources, taking the extension courses from the Long Island Org Academy or from FLAG. Study your course remotely with the Long Island Org Remote Academy, and the WISE podcast, the volunteer ministers. They're all absolutely amazing. And
Timmy, hi. This is Costas. How are you guys?
Hi, Costa.
Hi. My point of view from what you said, it's interesting that. Hello, everybody. I don't know if you can hear me. But recently, I had some bad news from my home place. A close relative, she was diagnosed with cancer. And, I've been trying to help them and try to give my advice in any way possible from a distance. So today I was like, I got to write something to them. I got to tell them something, something positive. And the minute I logged in to the service, and I kind of came late, I came to the point when you start talking about confront and you start point at those two items, like, the more you if you don't confront, you become the problem. If you confront, you create the space so you can invite anything that's going to resolve the problem. So I'm like, man, that's the message. I start typing then that specific message as a beautiful concept for them to start realizing that, listen, yeah, it's a problem. It's a huge problem, but the only way to resolve it is to really confront it. So thank you. Got it.
Thank you for sharing. Go ahead, Mitch.
No, I don't have anything else really. Just we're going to have the All East US fundraiser. I think it's 6:30. Is that right? Anybody? Is Leanne there?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. So 6:30 on Tuesday night, and it would be interesting. So come listen and donate if you'd like. I think it'll be very, very exciting.
Yeah, we're going to have on Monday at 6:30 Eastern, the OT committee, and this is the information. You'll be receiving the information also in a text. And then on Tuesday, this is going to be an interesting first time ever for the Long Island Org, a fundraiser, which is going to be virtual fundraiser. And the idea is that you are getting a plate of food, your favorite food from your kitchen. You are eating it while you are in the computer where the fundraising will take place. So it's going to be an interesting concept. Let's get fun with it. But, I had prepared for you guys today to show the video, like a little 2.5-3 minute video on the tone scale. However, from the Scientology TV. However, I decided to play something else for you. It's only 3 minutes, and I'm going to share it right now. And guys, let me just see how am I going to share it though. Okay, I'm going to do it. So let's have fun with it, huh? So let me go back to see you guys here, and I'm sharing it right now.
Is it on?
Down. You calm down.
Don't see it.
Okay. Hey guys. All right.
Let's talk about something that ain't dangerous. How about this? Some things may be a little strange for us, but listen to this.
Yeah, we could start a new direction, affecting the future ahead, spreading smiles for miles, a new kind of trend.
Want a new style? How about this? Let's talk about something that's courageous. How about this?
Let's talk about something that's outrageous.
Put this at the top of your list.
Yeah, we could start a
New direction, affecting the future ahead.
Spreading smiles for miles, a new kind of trend.
Want a new style? Hey.
How about this?
Come on, hit me up with the pickup, y'all.
You're stuck and gonna sit at home.
Live it up, live it up, live it up for me.
You're not alone.
We can live this world from quarantine.
Pick it up, just pick it up. Take this shot with me. Spread a smile, not something else. 'Cause this world is really needing your help. Spread a smile and nothing more. And we'll show this world it can be restored. You wanna smile? How about this?
Oh yeah.
You're stuck and gonna sit at home. Live it up, live it up, live it up with me. We can live this world while quarantined. Pick it up, just pick it up.
Take this shot
With me, yeah. Not something else. 'Cause this world is really needing your help. Spread a smile and nothing more. Nothing more, nothing more. This world it can be restored. Stay well, stay strong. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Can be restored. You wanna smile? How about this?
Oh, that's great.
Pretty funny, huh? All right. So thank you guys for joining Sunday service today, and see you all.
Jamie,
Yeah.
I just want to clarify something on the fundraising event on Tuesday. This is an all East US fundraising event because one of the biggest things that we have found has been that during times of crisis, charitable contributions are the thing that expand the most. So even if you can't donate or whatever, we really want you to be there, join in. We want to make a big noise about Long Island because there are going to be people from all over East US and Flag at this fundraiser. So we would love to get their attention units and help to create the Long Island Ideal Org, because now more than ever, it's clear that we need ideal orgs.
Awesome. Absolutely. So let's get this done, guys. All right. See you all guys on Monday on Long Island Org OT Committee, and see you next Sunday on Sunday service.
Bye,
Take care.
everybody. Bye, Jimmy. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Demi. That was awesome.
Yeah.